Tennessee. Billy Donovan's got his team playing well. Bruce Pearl has an exciting brand of basketball in Knoxville now, Barry. It is number 2 Florida, undefeated, taking on the Volunteers of Tennessee. They're expecting a crowd of about 21,000. And it's going to be a good one. Can Bruce Pearl's team pull off the upset? We're going to find out a little bit later tonight. We're at halftime, the Nissan Halftime Report. Georgia by 6 over Ole Miss.
Our second game in this SEC Saturday night doubleheader. This game will be here with the number 2 ranked Florida Gators taking on the Tennessee Volunteers following Ole Miss in Georgia. Hi, everybody. I'm Jen Hildreth. I'm here to bring you all the action from Knoxville along with Dave Neal and Eddie Fogler. And what a game this should be. A capacity crowd expected at Thompson-Boling Arena. More than 24,000 fans. And the fans here in Tennessee have really come out to support the team this year. One big reason, first-year head coach Bruce Pearl. This is a guy whose energy and passion just gets everybody going. And you know, just about an hour ago, he was here delivering both pizza and a pep talk to the fans waiting in line.
Listen up.
Let God talk.
Listen up. We have done absolutely nothing to deserve this.
Yes, you have.
No, we haven't. We are your basketball team. I'm your basketball coach. And we're
I mean, are you motivated? Because I am. And I tell you what, I had a chance earlier this week to go to practice with Coach Pearl, and you want to talk about motivation? This guy knows how to do it.
I'm not interested in seeing how tired you are. Do you understand me? I'm not interested today in seeing how tired you are. You understand me? I might be interested to see your head in a bucket puking. That might interest me. Don't show me that weakness, Tennessee. Show me the swagger. Show me the toughness.
And you could really see the players respond after that outburst from Coach Pearl, trying to show that toughness and swagger he was talking about. Certainly the Vols are going to need all of that swagger tonight when they host the Florida Gators. That game coming up right after Ole Miss, Georgia. Ron Thulin and Barry Booker will be here to take you through the rest of the half from Athens right after this.
Welcome those of you watching Georgia and Ole Miss as Georgia wins 72-65. I am Dave Neal along with Eddie Fogler and Jen Hildreth. Glad you could join us from Thompson-Boling Arena, where the Florida Gators are off to an excellent high-flying start behind that man, Corey Brewer, who has all 8 of the Florida points. He scored on a dunk 4 seconds into the game right off the tip. And the Gators come in here 17-0, Coach. They are the number 2 team in America. A win here tonight makes them number 1 by all logical choices. After Duke and Pittsburgh go down, the 2 other Division I unbeatens. But Tennessee with a capacity crowd on hand to support them, close to 25,000. But the Gators off to a great start on the road. Horford. Wow. Left it short.
Are you kidding me? Their starting center takes it coast to coast off the rebound, and this is the easy layup.
Lofton the other way. Draws the foul on Green. No shot. And that'll be the first on Torian Green.
Well, Horford can't convert on an incredibly athletic play, and Lofton comes down the court. Obvious block. One official waving it off, but Doug Sermon's calling it a good basket, and Billy Donovan arguing the call.
Now they say the basket is good.
Well, it was obviously waved off initially, but then overruled. 3-point play for Tennessee, and Tennessee coming out pressing full court right from the tip.
Billy Donovan not happy with the call from our officiating crew of Tom Eads, Doug Sermons, and Tracy Woodson. Noah, nice pass inside, pump fake by Horford. He can't get it to go down, but the follow is good, his first basket.
Quick jumper, and Bradshaw starting on Horford. Mismatch inside. Let's look to see if Florida pounds the ball into the basket.
Bradshaw cuts. It's tied up underneath. Wingate, pump fake, now takes it. DeJuan Smith to the basket. Crowd wanted a goaltending. That's the 100th block of the season for this Gator basketball team. They have been really solid in that department. On the flip side, in the last couple of games, 23 Tennessee shots have been rejected against Memphis and LSU.
Well, Horford 5th in the league in shot blocks, and this Gator team much better blocking shots because Crawford and Noah get many more minutes.
Joakim Noah with the long arms, great hands, puts it down.
Well, they're going to pound it inside, Dave. They got a huge advantage in the post versus a much smaller Tennessee team. Bad shot.
Juwan Smith misses the jumper. Torian Green, he misses on his end. Here's Lofton, Tennessee on the run. Smith to Lofton's right, but Lofton takes it and counts.
Well, used to be Dave Neal only a three-point shooter, but no longer. Chris Lofton now can take the ball to the basket, has lost weight, and is much, much more athletic. This in his sophomore year in Knoxville. He explodes to the basket. The block on Lee Humphrey.
And that is how Tennessee must play tonight. Take their chances in the open floor.
And these two high-scoring teams, 1 and 2 in the SEC, getting up and down the court. A lot of action early.
Both of these teams have struggled when teams have tried to slow it down. Mississippi State did a nice job against the Gators when they went into a zone. Florida ended up winning that game, and Auburn did the same thing. Jeff Lebo played zone 80% of the time, and Florida struggled in that game as well. Came away with the win ultimately, but the alley-oop to Brewer is no good, and a foul against the Volunteers. And that will go against Andre Patterson. That'll be his first. But the Gators, the high-flying Gators, averaging 84 points a game, off to a good start. They've got a dozen Tennessee. SEC Saturday Night Hoops featuring the second-ranked Florida Gators and the Tennessee Volunteers is being brought to you by. This was the scene just before 7 o'clock Eastern tonight. Bruce Pearl does a lot to get his team involved in the community. He's actually had his team go out to the exits after a ball game and thank the fans for coming. Well, tonight, he told his guys to come down through the stands in front of 25,000 inside Thompson Bowling Arena. And this place about blew the lid off the building with all the excitement. They love their big orange under Bruce Pearl. Matter of fact, Coach, I was just told that they had to turn around, say goodbye to some 3,000 fans that wanted to get into this game tonight.
Well, Dave, I coached 12 years in the league, brought 12 teams here, probably have done 8 or 9 games on Fox. Here in Knoxville, I have never seen a game with more interest, with more people outside looking for tickets, with an earlier crowd ever arriving in this arena than we have here tonight.
Florida comes in, the number 2 team in America, and interesting that this is the highest ranked team to visit Thompson Bowling Arena since Kentucky was ranked number 2 back in 1996, and really only the 3rd time in the history of the school that a team ranked as high as number 2 has been here.
Well, it's hard to get higher ranked than number 2, but you know, Florida just off to a terrific start here.
This is a great night for the SEC, but we've had a few things thrown on the floor. For the safety of the players, please refrain from doing so. We're going to have a great basketball game here tonight, and you all are a big part of it, but let's show some class now. Let's go.
You heard the coach, Bruce Pearl. He's done a lot to get these people in here. He's done a lot for promoting this team, knowing that it was going to be a challenge this year, but he's done a miraculous job convincing his players that they can play this up-tempo style, and he wants tonight to be a special night. And we have had a few wayward folks get a little bit out of hand early on. Free throws go down, 14-8. Florida leads it by 6.
Florida already 3 deep into their bench. Both Horford and Noah on the bench for Richards and Moss.
5 for Chris Lofton.
Well, they have to shoot well from 3, Dave. They've got a limited inside game. They shot it poorly in their 2 losses to Memphis and LSU. It is a must that they knock down the tree.
Brewer misfires. Lofton calls a timeout, saves the basketball with 15:27 to go in the first half. 32nd timeout. These 2 teams, you mentioned high-scoring clubs. 83.5 points for Tennessee, 2nd in the league. 84.2 points per game for Florida. That is number 1. Both these teams shoot the ball very well. Tennessee at 47%, Florida 52%. However, when you flip the coin and talk about defense, that's where these two clubs get separated. Florida, outstanding. They are first in the conference at 61 points a game. Bruce Pearl's club, 74 points a game they give up. That is dead last.
Well, great points, Dave. Offensively, these two teams rank 1 and 2 in almost every offensive category except offensive rebounds. Defensively, Tennessee ranks at the bottom of almost every defensive category except for steals. Florida in the top 3 or 4. Big difference defensively for these two teams, in my opinion, is shot blocking. When you've got Noah and Horford on the court and Brewer, you have shot blockers. Tennessee doesn't bother shots in the paint, and if you can break their press, you do get easy shots. However, they do turn you over. That's the other side of the issue when you play Tennessee. You've got to take care of the basketball.
Lofton, tough shot. Last touch by Moss, who just checked in for Florida. You know, it was interesting talking to Billy Donovan, and he says that that's one area of concern for him is these guys blocking shots. They get so carried away with it that sometimes they leave the weak side, creating an offensive rebound opportunity for the opponent. And a foul against Corey Brewer as he blew right over Dewan Smith. That'll be his first.
Well, Billy wants his shot blockers to block their own man shot, not coming across blocking someone else's shot because it frees up the board.
Good hands underneath by Chris Richard. Third turnover by Tennessee.
Well, with Moss and Richard in Florida, doesn't drop off that much in at the post. They easily have the 4 best post players on one team in the Southeastern Conference. I don't even know who second would be.
Richard. The follow from Brewer. Had a point blank and didn't go down. Bradshaw tied up, cross-court pass, Lofton.
Excellent closeout by Moss, now on Lofton. It's not his man, but he closed out on the great three-point shooter.
Patterson backs into the lane, spins, lays it up. Nice move by Andre Patterson.
Nice move, a lot of excellent footwork. He took up a lot of space, but didn't walk, and there's the press.
Turnover. Won't go down. Up ahead, here's Richard. That goes down.
That goes down, and Taurean Green, very unselfish, pitching the ball up the court. Interestingly enough, last week in Baton Rouge, Tennessee caused 15 turnovers in the first half, Dave, but missed a lot of easy shots. They've got to make the easy ones when they turn the other team over.
Florida missed a lot of easy shots in the first half against Auburn. A lot of point-blank opportunities. Lofton point-blank, reverse layup goes down.
Well, excellent pass by Dane Bradshaw, number 1 in the league, assist-error ratio, number 7 with assists.
Green kicks it off to Hodge. The left-hander fires and makes. He's coming off a career-high 18 on Wednesday night against Savannah State. Nearly a takeaway. It'll be Tennessee basketball.
Corey Brewer just all over this basketball court. Offensive boards, defensive boards, deflecting passes, dunking the basketball.
You and I are both wondering how Florida, being a relatively young club, I mean, let's face it, you may have heard of these guys, but they're just sophomores for the most part, how they would handle this environment on the road. I've been very impressed.
So have I, Dave. This is the best team Florida will have played. It's the toughest environment they have played in. Providence pressed them when they were up in Providence. They turned it over 25 times. They cannot do that here tonight and beat Tennessee.
And a carry violation against Taurean Green. That's the Gators' first, make that second turnover tonight. We played almost 7 minutes.
And I think Green is the one player of the 4 sophomores that needs to stay on this court. He's the only true point guard. He's outstanding, but he's relatively inexperienced. This is a tough environment for him, but he needs to play well for Florida.
Jordan Howell, the 6'3 sophomore out of Auburn, Alabama, checks in. Here's Wingate on Horford, left-hand. Smith, Watson, and Wingate. The Gators go with Brewer, Horford, Lee Humphrey with the long jumper. That's off the mark. Richard on the floor along with Walter Hodge.
Well, that was a brick from the leading field goal three-point shooter in the league. An absolute brick by Humphrey.
Wingate underneath the Sumnu. Short-armed it, gets it back, and is fouled from behind by Richard. That'll be the first on Richard.
One thing Tennessee tries to do, they don't have a real good low post game, but they will get the ball inside to any of their 5 players to try to score.
Well, there were 3 unbeatens going into tonight. There is only 1 remaining, and it's on the floor in blue. They lead by 3. Especially when this has been such an event all week. And you know, the fact that this club has lost 2 straight, speaking of Tennessee, is it's interesting how much these fans have bought into Bruce Pearl's system. You lose 2 in a row, but you lose at LSU, play them pretty well. Didn't play a great game, but you hung in there on the road. Then you go to Memphis and have a chance to win against the 4th-ranked team in the country, and just came up a little bit short. So despite those 2 losses, this crowd still believes.
Well, it's exciting brand of basketball. They play extremely hard, and their crowd appreciates it. Tennessee now going to a 2-3 zone. First time this game.
Florida is just a machine now. They are very efficient at every position. Tie up. Jump ball. Arrow favors the Volunteer. There's Dane Bradshaw right in the middle of it again.
Well, the 2-3 zone collapses on Noah, and Bradshaw reaches in. What a savvy player, Dane Bradshaw. Incredible what he gets out of his abilities.
Well, career high 21 against the Memphis Tigers on Wednesday night.
Florida 2-3 zone, Dave, out of the timeout. Both teams trying to make the other beat them from outside. And of course, with Humphrey on the bench, excellent for Tennessee to go zone.
Batted out of there, and Joakim Noah comes up with it. 4th Tennessee turnover. Down, and he is in some serious pain.
There was no contact, Dave, I believe, on that rebound. I just think he came down funny, either twisted a knee or possibly an ankle.
That did not look good. For Corey Brewer, who has 10 points and 4 rebounds in this game, and he will hobble off into that Gator locker room for the injured Brewer, and Florida will inbound it. Watson nearly had a takeaway and leaps into the crowd.
Great effort by C.J. Watson. Florida now with Hodge and Huertas on the court. 2 freshman guards going against this full-court Tennessee press. Nice catch by the Vol faithful.
See that bandage. It's hard to see it from this angle, but C.J. Watson has some tape around that right arm bicep. It's a little bit sore, nothing serious, but he certainly gets banged around quite a bit. Nice move on the inside by Huertas. A freshman out of Puerto Rico. Bradshaw, oh, that's a tough shot over Joakim Noah. First basket for Dane Bradshaw. Lead is back to 6. If they're going to be that hard all night, it's going to be a long night for Tennessee.
That was a heck of a shot. We got Bradshaw guarding Noah at the low post. Florida needs to look to take advantage, and there it is.
Dump down to Noah. Oh, he's got excellent hands. A former soccer player and tennis player back in New York where he grew up. Bryn Gage. No good. Batted around. And Lofton comes away with it. Long 3, and he's got it. Oh, my.
Well, Chris Lofton beginning to feel it. One of the best shooters in America. A very difficult 3-point shot off the offensive rebound.
Timeout taken by Florida. Chris Lofton with 15 points and 4 rebounds. Well, earlier today, Bruce Pearl went out to those that have been waiting all day and all night to tell them that their efforts are certainly appreciated.
Let God talk. Listen up. We have done absolutely nothing to deserve this.
Yes, you have.
No, we haven't. We are are your basketball team. I'm your basketball coach. And we're gonna keep
I got to tell you, it was like a football game here today. I've been here a lot over the years for football games, and it had that kind of buzz. People everywhere. Traffic was an issue. Finding tickets, parking places. It really was just a very exciting day.
Most electric atmosphere I've ever seen at Thompson Bowling. And tell me Bruce Pearl doesn't know how to work a crowd. Unbelievable.
And he can work the announcers as well. We got two of probably the most sociable coaches I've been around on the floor tonight.
Well, they've been great to work with. We got the dean, Billy Donovan, his 10th year, the rookie Bruce Pearl in his first year. And interestingly enough, Dave, I think Bruce Pearl's system is more like Billy Donovan's system than any other coach in the Southeastern Conference.
Shot clock now goes under 10. Long three by Green. Got it. Oh, dead solid, perfect.
Played perfectly by Tennessee. Flat ball screen, they switch it, and the 6'8" Patterson are all over Torian Green and still makes the shot.
8-point lead, ties the biggest of the game for the Gators, but Chris Lofton. That's a three, and they'll give him 18 for the game. Offensive foul.
And Tennessee pressing the freshman guard, Hodge, out of control. Charges turnover, Florida.
Behind Chris Lofton, the Tennessee Volunteers have fought their way back. Dane Bradshaw has added to the effort as well.
Florida Gators leading 30-25 with 7:21 left to play in the first half. Candace Parker here from the Lady Vols, as well as the Lady Vols head coach Pat Summitt. Coach, first of all, congratulations. Win number 900 for you on Thursday. That's just unfathomable, but you don't really got a whole lot of time to bask in that celebration, do you, with the game coming up Monday night?
No, not with Monday night, and we're playing at Duke, and it should be an incredible atmosphere, much like you have here tonight, and looking forward to that challenge.
All right, well, thanks so much for joining us here tonight. Best of luck to you on Monday.
Thank you.
All right, Dave.
Pat Summitt with 900 victories to her career. Billy Donovan still jawing over there, and as we went to break, Billy Donovan was hit with a technical foul. And he is still chirping to our crew. And C.J. Watson will step to the free throw line. And C.J., excellent foul shooter, 86% on the year. He's been there a ton for a guard, 94 times.
Well, he gets the free throw line, Dave, more than any other Tennessee player. Rare to see a point guard get there as much as he does. It means he attacks the basket.
What a job he has done. An unranked basketball team coming into this season, and I mean, they are 17-0, 3-0 in the league. And I said it last week when they were taking on Auburn, that I can't think of a better job done by a coach in the country. Bruce Pearl, got to be somewhere in the top 5, but I say mid-season, Billy Donovan is my guy.
I would agree. Losing the big three, as I call them, Lee, Roberson, and Walsh. No one expected this team to be nearly as good. And where would the points come from? That was the big question. How could they score?
Hodge misfires on the three, and a foul on the rebound. Adrian Moss over the back of Childress. That'll be the first on Moss.
You know, with Corey Brewer out of the game, Florida really loses a versatile player. He's 6'8", he could guard the other team's point guard, he could rebound, he could score, he could do it all. Now they're much smaller, much better matchup for Tennessee.
Take a look at our Southeast Toyota trivia question. Who was the only Tennessee player to win back-to-back SEC scoring titles?
Either Bernard King or Allen Houston. Have to pick one?
Let's see, back-to-back.
I'm going to pick...
How about Tony White? Tony White in 86 and 87.
Well, close. I'm about 1 for 8.
I know.
I'm going to lay off. I'm going to lay off of those.
Last night, Tony White Jr. plays high school basketball here in the city of Knoxville. Went for 51. His dad put on a show one night here in this arena, actually in Stokely. Put together a 51-point game. Huertas to the basket, and a foul on the rebound as Al Horford hits the deck. He gets up slow.
Make them pay for gambling full court. Excuse me, Dave. Their whole team changes without Corey Brewer on the court.
Patterson. And a tie-up, and a jump ball arrow favors Florida. And for Tennessee, it is their first lead of the game. They have trailed by as many as 8 twice, and they now lead 31-30.
Andre Patterson getting all over the offensive board for the basket. Florida beginning to become a little unraveled. A young team away from home in front of 24,000 or so people. Very difficult environment.
Horford underneath, and the Gators answer. Horford has 6.
Florida presently has 2 freshmen and 3 sophomores on the court.
There's one of the freshmen. Huertas gives it back to the sophomore, Torian Green.
Here's where Florida needs to take advantage and use their size. Put it inside.
Hodge, another one of those freshmen on the floor for Florida, gives it back to Green. Torian, tough shot, fall away, short, right into the hands of Jordan Howard. Off to Bradshaw. No look to Patterson. Blocked inside by Noah. And then a foul against Bradshaw.
Well, that's a perfect example, Dave, of what shot blocking can do for a defensive basketball aspect. Great quick jump with its speed.
Bruce Pearl said his team would be challenged trying to keep up with Joe Kim up and down this 94-foot court. Huertas, bounce pass inside, goes to Al Horford. Huertas lines up a 3, got it.
Well, give Huertas credit. He turned it over last time down the court, but knocks down the wide open 3.
Huertas got a lot of time, as did Walter Hodge on Wednesday night against Savannah State when the Gators blew out their opponent. He had 15 points in that contest, 5 out of 13 from the floor. Bradshaw, tough shot.
Lee Humphrey now at the point with Torian Green on the bench. Not a natural point guard, more of a scoring guard. I think Tennessee might be able to turn him over with their presses.
Here's Hodge, who has been thrown to the turnover as well. Brown wanted to travel, didn't get it. Humphrey, bounce pass and a blocking foul on the pass. That'll be Wingate's first. And with that, there will be a stoppage in play. 3:26 to go before halftime. The head coach of the Tennessee Volunteer football team on hand. We've seen a few good blocks and tackles here in the first half. SEC Saturday Night Hoops featuring the second-ranked Florida Gators and the Tennessee Volunteers is being brought to you by Lincoln Mercury.
Florida still leading this one with 3:25 to go in the first half, but Tennessee hanging in there and fighting hard. You've seen some big names from the Tennessee family here so far. Phil Fulmer, Pat Summitt, and you know, that's one thing that Bruce Pearl really loved when he came here to Knoxville was that family feeling. He said he especially got it from Fulmer and Summitt, and since he's been here, he's gone down to see the football team play in Gainesville. He went and saw the women's basketball team play last year right after he got here in the Sweet 16, and really that whole family atmosphere is what he bought into. He said he doesn't have to sell his program, that does it for him.
Bruce Pearl's club trailing by 4. Inbound underneath their own basket, and it'll be Tennessee basketball. Coach, during the timeout, you and I were talking about Major Wingate. Guy's been a real solid performer, but tonight 0 out of 5 from the floor, 0 rebounds. He has been completely nullified.
Well, absolutely. The size, I think, of Florida has bothered Wingate. And How about that? The turnover on the out-of-bounds play. Major Wingate has really improved his game, though, Dave. He's matured into his junior year, playing very, very well. He needs to play better here tonight, particularly at least rebound the ball. If you can't score over their size, but you got a defensive rebound the ball, he's their only player over 6'7".
Chris Lofton had 18 points in the first 13 minutes of this game. He has since given way to others. He's been scoreless for the last 4. LaJuan Smith knocks down the 3. That breaks a Tennessee dry spell of 3.5 minutes. Loose ball on the floor, and they'll say tie up. Tennessee will take over.
Well, Juwan Smith's taken 107 shots, 70 from 3. An excellent three-point play. Shooter, Dave, and then the ball gets thrown into the corner against the Tennessee press. You do not want to put the ball in the corner versus a pressing team. You should run the baseline and bring it into the opposite side.
And here comes Corey Brewer, bad ankle and all. He'll replace Huertas, who heads to that bench. Huertas had a big three-pointer. Corey Brewer back on with his 10 points. He got off to a great start. He scored 4 seconds into this game off the tip. He went flying down the left side and jammed it home for the Gators, and they led 2-0 and led until Tennessee took a 31-30 lead moments ago. Bradshaw gets the rebound. Rare miss by Torian Green. 88% foul shooter. Had a streak of 37 made at one stretch this year, school record. Smith needs to slow down the three-point shooting. He wasn't exactly ripping it up the last few games. He was 7 out of 30 coming into tonight.
Well, that's a kind way of saying bad shot.
I do what I can.
Slow down with this bad shot.
Brewer, first shot since heading into the locker room looks pretty good, but then he hobbles back down the floor. Boy, I would go right at Corey Brewer if I was Tennessee.
I'm not sure, Dave, he'll be able to play much longer if he can't run any better back to the defensive end.
Bradshaw, he'll line up a 3. No good. Brewer grabs the rebound. It looks like he's running pretty well. Momentarily, anyway. Joakim Noah back to Green. The 3 on the way. Got it. Torian Green. He's got 6 behind a couple of 3s.
Well, and give Noah credit not to force the inside shot. He pops it back out to the open Green, and that's why Florida leads the Southeastern Conference in assists. Their big men are good passers.
And that's another reason why they shoot 52% from the floor. That's the best in the SEC.
And that's what I really think is important. He's not an overly involved parent. He's a very supportive parent.
He has watched a lot of good basketball over the last 10 years. Actually, watching Billy from his time he was a high school player, he's seen a lot of good basketball.
Well, when Billy came in today, I said, "Where's your dad? Is he here?" He said, "Are you kidding me? Here he comes."
He's got his own scouting report.
Are you kidding me? My dad, he's here.
1:20 to go before halftime. Shot clock goes under 10. Tennessee is 1 out of the last 6 from the floor, making 1 out of 7. Noah the rebound. And for Noah, that'll be his 5th board of the first half.
And both teams running, Dave, what's called the flat ball screen, where a big man comes up for a little man and doesn't face either way. He faces straight ahead, and both teams are switching the flat ball screen and covering the ball. I think it's a good way to go defensively.
So Howell comes on the floor now for Tennessee. The Gators shooting 59% from the floor. Tennessee 37%. Noah tied up off the Green. Here's Hodge. Horford working on Wingate. Jump hook is solid.
Boy, that's good. That's quick. He's strong, but he's a quick, strong jumper and gets the ball up before Wingate could react. You can just see the dramatic improvement in these sophomores, particularly Green, Horford, and Noah. Brewer was good last year.
We'll also hear from former Vol forward, All-American Ernie Grunfeld of the Ernie and Bernie Show. And we'll hear from the local announcers of Tennessee and Florida, 2 of the best in the business. is the first point in the game for Major Wingate. And he has 0 rebounds.
Well, again, people do struggle offensively, and that can happen to anybody, but when you're 6'10", you've got to rebound the ball every night. Florida going to play for 1 shot, Dave, about a 1 second differential between the shot clock and the game clock.
Here's Huertas, the 6'5" freshman out of Puerto Rico, gives it to Hodge. Now it's in Green's hands.
Generally, the flat ball screens come at the end of the clock. Let's see if they come up and run a flat ball screen and see if Tennessee switches.
Jordan Howell guarding Taurean Green. Now they switch. Bradshaw's got him. 5 on the shot clock. And a double dribble on Taurean Green, so Tennessee will have 1 final shot.
Excellent defensive possession by Tennessee. Again, the switching of the ball screen on the ball, bothering both teams, and both teams screen on the ball a lot.
Here's C.J. Watson. C.J. stumbles, still gets it off. Blocked, I think, by a Gator inside. Bradshaw can't get it to go down, and Florida will head to that locker room leading by 6, 42-36. The Gators shoot 60% from the floor. Tennessee shoots 36%, but they are still in it, so Bruce Pearl has to be somewhat pleased that his team offensively didn't get the kind of production he is accustomed to, but they still are very much alive here in the first half. Number 2, Florida leads it. Let's go to Jen Hildreth.
Coach, your team hanging right in there, unable to get the lead except for at 1 point. How do you get out in front of this team?
They're good. They're awfully good. Florida does a great job in transition, and how many times did they get the ball down quickly, move it a couple times, and find open shooters? So we got to do a better job of taking that away. But our kids are playing hard. The crowd is really giving us a great deal of energy. I thought pressure defense bothered them a little bit. We're going to have to pick that up a little bit more in the second half.
Offensively, how do you improve that shot selection? Just 37% right now.
Well, you got to scratch good itches, as Hayden Fry told me one time, and we do shoot the ball well from the perimeter. Chris Lofton's proven that. Just got to get a couple of other guys going and maybe be a little bit more patient if we can get this thing closer.
All right, I'm sure you'll have some good words to tell your team at the half. Thanks, Coach. Back to you, Dave.
All right, Jen. We have got a break in the action. It is halftime here at Thompson Bowling Arena. 25,000 on hand. They've seen Chris Lofton go for 18, but the Vols still trail by 8.
And you got the
Great start, Dave, as you mentioned. Made shots, was all over the place defensively as well. But then came a defensive rebound, and he twists his ankle and limps off, obviously hurting. And they're not the same team, quite frankly, when Corey Brewer's not in the game. He comes back, but you can see him limping back down the court. He is nowhere near 100%. It'll be interesting to see what happens during the 15-minute break here.
12 points on 5 of 7 shooting for Corey Brewer. If he can't go in the second half, that means the freshman David Huertas will get a lot more minutes. And you know about freshmen in hostile environments, you don't know what you're going to get.
Absolutely.
So we will see as the mascots come our way. This is Dave. Let's get out of here. When we come back, we'll take a look at next week's SEC Saturday night action right here on FSN. Stay with us. Carolina today as they go down at the buzzer to Kentucky on the road. They've won in overtime, lost in overtime, and then got beat at the buzzer today, and they will try to get it going against Tennessee, 5 o'clock Eastern, and then Mississippi State and Alabama, 7 o'clock Eastern time. Coach Eddie Fogler and I will be over in Tuscaloosa, so come on out, folks, and enjoy some basketball in the SEC. And when we come back, we will hear from one of the Volunteer legends. Ernie Grunfeld talks about Mr. Bruce Pearl when we come back with an Nissan halftime report.
FSN Florida, your home for...
I'm still trying to figure out exactly what they're spelling out. I don't know. Whatever it is, they think it's great. That's what it's all about. Florida leading Tennessee at halftime. It's our Nissan halftime report. And, you know, one of the aspects of Tennessee basketball that looms large is the era of Bernard King and Ernie Grunfeld. Of course, both went on to play in the NBA. And Ernie Grunfeld, now the president of basketball operations for the Washington Wizards, recently talked about Bruce Pearl, the new head coach here at Tennessee.
I did know Bruce. He was the coach at University of Wisconsin in Milwaukee. I was very friendly with him. His kids went to the same school as my son, and we socialized, and I followed his program, and I think he's an outstanding coach. What he brings to Tennessee is a proven winner, someone with great enthusiasm, great energy, and he plays a style that players really enjoy playing and the fans enjoy watching.
Oh, what a great player. When we come back, we will hear as we go to break some of the sounds from the announcers of the Tennessee Volunteers and the Florida Gators. Bob Kessling of the Vol Network and Mick Hubert from the Gator Radio Network. These guys are special, folks.
Joakim Noah, 6'11", 6'10", Major Wingate. The jump circle, the ball's in the air. The opening tip control by the Gators. It comes to Brewer, and it's a slam dunk. On the 14, Gators 2-point lead as Green down, banged around. Horford keeps it alive, and Lofton comes out of there with it. Lofton down the lane, layup. Good, and he's fouled by Humphrey. Shot, left side, Major Wingate. Left wing, 15-footer, no good. Tip, no good. Rebound, banged around. Lofton comes up with it. He'll launch a three and hits it. Yeah, big bucket. Lofton.
Come with it, because it's 90 feet to first, no matter where home is.
SEC Saturday nights. Thanks for watching our Nissan Halftime Report as we get set for second half basketball. Florida leads it by 6. Moments ago, Jen Hildreth had a chance to catch up with Billy Donovan. Sorry for those microphone problems. We'll try to get that back to you. Basically, the discussion was about Corey Brewer and how much he could go, and Billy Donovan says he didn't know. Said it's very sore, but Brewer starts the second half on that bad ankle. First pass inside to Joakim Noah, fouled by Andre Patterson, who gets the start here in the second half for the Tennessee Volunteers. That'll be the second on Patterson.
And Andre Patterson started.
That's getting it done. Noah to the line. That one no good. Oh, it's a 7-point lead. Tennessee has trailed by as many as 8 twice in this game. Andre Patterson off the glass. He's got 6.
Well, Patterson was terrific last week at LSU, playing well here today also.
Dorian Green, no good. Tip by Noah, again no good. Batted around, and Humphrey has it. Wingate still without a rebound underneath for Tennessee.
And Florida playing volleyball on the offensive boards, just tapping it, keeping it alive.
They led the first half rebounding department 20-15.
Up if they are to win here today.
Dorian Green has been sensational in the 3 SEC games, averaging over 20 points a game. He gives it off to Humphrey. Lee Humphrey quiet in the first half. Brewer pump fakes on Bradshaw. Green. Short. Wingate with his first rebound. Here's C.J. Watson inside. That's a tough shot. Patterson with a nice rebound and a foul. See if Horford gets it or Joakim Noah. It'll be Al Horford.
Well, there's the switch, Dave, again on the flat ball screens. But what Florida does, size differences.
There's Green on the floor. He gets knocked around. It'll be Florida basketball. For Florida, I'm a little surprised. Lee Humphrey, a slow start coming back home, of course, from Maryville, Tennessee, about 20 minutes away from here in Knoxville. Lee Humphrey 0 for 1. Has 0 points, a couple of assists. He picked up 2 quick fouls and really didn't play a whole lot in the first half. Here he is with the basketball, trying to get it cranked up. There you go.
Well, that's awfully good. Comes off. Good call, Dave Neal. Comes off the dribble handoff and just jumps up and makes a 3.
Watson underneath, working on Green. Huge first half, 18 points. And a push before the shot. And that will go against Joakim Noah. That'll be his first. Lofton had 18 points and has been quiet over the last 9 minutes. And Wingate now has 4 points. That's his first field goal. Humphrey to the basket. Patterson the rebound. Watson, I think, got a hand on the shot of Lee Humphrey. 3-on-2. Lofton from the corner. Got it. He's not quiet anymore, and nor is this crowd.
Well, Lofton's feeling it, and it's at the point now where every time he lets it go, everyone in this building thinks it's going in.
Lofton, 8 out of 10, 3 out of 5 from behind the arc, 4 rebounds, and 21 points. Horford to the basket. Off the back of the iron, rebound Patterson. Boy, Patterson has had a couple of big rebounds here to start the second half.
Very active. Should have played better earlier in the year, in my opinion, but starting to come to life and gives Tennessee another athletic inside player.
Lofton pump fakes Brewer. Gets the shot off. No foul, but how about Dane Bradshaw? Right place, right time. Here's Brewer back the other way. Humphrey steps on the sideline. Tennessee basketball trailing by 1.
Well, that was not a pass, in my opinion, Dave Neal. I think it was a poor shot by Lofton. Brewer, long and athletic, bothers it, but Dane Bradshaw, very optimistic on the other end of the side of the basket, and lays it in on the weak side.
Volunteers 7-0 run. They've led one time in this game at 32-31. Here's Asumnu. Humphrey with it. Up ahead to Brewer. Florida will reset. Dorian Green through the hands of Chris Richard. And Humphrey, the local boy, getting some Boo Bird action. His third trip back to Knoxville. Shot clock at 5. Got it, Torian Green. He's got ice water in the veins.
Well, shows no emotion. He expected it to go in. What an improvement from a freshman year to a sophomore season.
All 5 starters for Florida average double figures, so they have a lot of options offensively. Take away by Richard.
And yet, Dave, no one on Florida in the top 10 in scoring in the Southeastern Conference, although, as you indicate, 5 are in double figures.
SEC Saturday Night Hoops featuring the second-ranked Florida Gators and the Tennessee Volunteers is being brought to you by Dodge.
The Florida Gators lead the Tennessee Volunteers by 4 here early in the second half in front of a capacity crowd of 24,011. That is the 6th largest crowd in Thompson Bowling Arena history. But a quick update for you guys on Florida's Corey Brewer. He did suffer a lateral sprain in his right ankle. Obviously he's playing, but he is playing with a lot of pain. He's running real gingerly. I've been watching him go up and down the floor. And Coach Vogler, I've got to ask you, how long do you leave a guy like that in there when he's not 100%?
Well, Jen, first of all, I asked the trainer, the medical people, can he go? It is totally up to them. Secondly, I then talk to my player to get feedback from him as well, and then I make my decision on how he looks on the court, particularly on the defensive end. If he can't guard, I'm sitting him down.
Brewer, preseason All-SEC first-team selection. I mean, just he does everything on the floor, and I think, you know, Corey Brewer at 80% is better than most. And if he says he can go, I give him a shot. Especially when you got 2 freshmen on the bench that you would go to in Hodge and Huertas. Richard sees a seam to the basket and count it. Junior, 6'8", 255 pounds. Some scores from around the country. There it is. Georgetown knocks off Duke by 3. St. John's over Pittsburgh, and those are the 2 undefeateds. How about Lofton with 24 points in this game?
Well,
he matches his season high, which he had in the opener, 24 against East Tennessee State.
Dave, that one's ridiculous. There's nothing you can do. You can't get up any more into a shooter without fouling him than that last possession. That young man is hot.
9 out of 12 from the floor is Chris Lofton.
Well, I guess you could keep the ball out of his hands would be the only way. You can't score if you don't have it.
Here's Green. And a block on C.J. Watson. Good call by Tom Eads. That'll be the third on C.J.
You know, it's
Pearl. What do you think, he wants the carry violation?
Yeah, I guess. You know, Dave, interestingly enough, only 3 of the 17 wins by Florida have been by less than 10 points. They haven't played a game under 10 points since against Miami in November. If this game comes down the stretch of a close game, Florida's had very, very little experience playing close basketball games in the last 2 or 3 minutes.
Well, their scoring differential is they're plus 23.
Yeah, they're just blowing people away. They actually would be better served to win a close game here today in a lot of ways than maybe winning easily.
Dorian Green. Oh, that's a tough shot. He got it to go down. He thought some of the tall timber was coming his way. Lofton again. This time, no good. Richard with the rebound. Gators on a break. 4 on 2. Humphrey will back it out. Dorian Green now with 11 points. 8 of the 9 Gators that have played have scored. The only one that hasn't scored is Adrian Moss.
Florida being much more deliberate in the half court, taking advantage of their size, not making it a helter-skelter game, which would favor Tennessee.
Foul on Richard with a hook underneath. That'll be his second. And that'll be the third team foul now against Florida. C.J. Watson. Coach just looking over at some of his numbers. 1 out of 6, 4 points, 4 assists tonight. The team's leading scorer, averaging 16.5 a game. Needs to get it going if Tennessee wants to have a chance tonight.
Absolutely, and taking a much-needed rest. Jordan Howell now playing the point guard for the Vols.
There's Wingate using some of that size and strength. Little jump hook goes down. And then a foul on Wingate. Reaching over Chris Richard. That'll be the third on Wingate. So fouls beginning to mount now against Tennessee. That's the 6th on the Vols.
Well, Tennessee scores, but Florida jumps out of bounds quickly with it and takes it down fast and gets it inside. A foul on Wingate.
Here's Green. Richard comes in, and he goes over the back. Juwan Smith blocking out underneath. That'll be the third on Richard. Joakim Noah checks in for the Gators, and Richard takes a seat. Noah with 7 points and 6 rebounds tonight for Florida.
Torian Green, a point guard, playing Lofton, the 2 guard, trying to shut him down for Florida.
Traveling against Wingate. Boy, it's a comedy of errors right now on both sides.
It sure is, and both coaches, though, Dave, making crucial adjustments, particularly on the defensive end of the court with the matchups.
Three-point Gator lead, 12-15 to play. Smith nearly had a steal. .21 seconds on the shot clock. Here comes the freshman Ryan Childress, the 6'9", 250-pounder out of Cincinnati, Ohio, out of Moeller High School, checks in. You know what I love about Ryan Childress? Says his favorite all-time NBA player is the great Bill Winnington.
Played at St. John's.
I mean,
I remember Bill Winnington.
And he models his game after Bill Laimbeer, former Detroit Piston world champion.
That's pretty cool. And the reason he's in this game is for size, Dave. He hadn't played a whole lot, but again, Billy Donovan takes such advantage of size differences and mismatches that Bruce Pearl is now matching size for size whenever possible.
This is becoming a real coaching chess match at this point in a close ball game. Under 12 to go. A lot of matchup decisions. Watson, Lofton looking inside for Patterson. Spins on Noah to the basket. Strong move, but did not go. The tip is in by Smith. Here comes Hodge to the basket. Count it for Walter Hodge.
Go over the top and get it to the rim.
Tennessee's trailing by 3. Timeout on the floor. Chris Lofton has done all he can to keep the Volunteers in this with 24 huge points. But Florida with the slimmest of leads.
How to beat a press. Tennessee scores on the tip-in by Smith, but try to get the ball out of bounds quickly, run the baseline, throw over the top, and attack the rim. Florida very good at countering the Tennessee basket, and they have a chance for a three-point play.
And Walter Hodge coming off an back of the iron. Hodge with 53% foul shooter, now 8 out of 14 on the year. Smith just lost the dribble. Good play by Hodge. And Humphrey will run the point. Here's Brewer. Pull-up jumper at the free throw line. Got it. Oh, that's smooth from a guy who got a bad ankle.
Well, that was smooth, and I thought he looked much better on the offensive end of the court on that play, but limping again, coming back, but he's in there to stay. He's not going away.
Isn't that the coach? Isn't that the case, Coach, with most players? That they seem healthy on the offensive end,
well,
and have a limp on the defensive end.
He's a competitor.
Jordan Howell knocks down the 3. Jordan now 9 out of 18 on the year from behind the arc. That's a big shot for the sophomore. Brewer skies and lays it in over the iron.
Don't you limp back on the defensive end of the court if you could do that on the offensive end of the court, Dave Neal. Excellent fingertip roll by Corey Brewer.
16 points to lead Florida. He's 7 out of 9. Little runner, too strong, battled around. Hodge has it. And a traveling violation against Corey Brewer. And Billy Donovan is hot. I think he's hot at the pass that gave it to Corey Brewer in a bad spot.
Well, here comes C.J. Watson back in. They certainly need him on the court, as well as Taurean Green. Billy Donovan takes Taurean Green out right before the TV timeouts, gets him an extra rest. A very smart play because he knows he has to have his sophomore point guard on the court a lot of minutes here tonight.
Watson back to Wingate. Pump fakes from 15, takes it inside, and he's fouled by somebody in blue. There were 3 Gators around him. And Taurean Green will pick that one up. That'll be his second. 5 team fouls now against Florida. 17 fouls against Tennessee, so free throws the rest of the way out for Florida, and that's not good news. They're the best free throw shooting team in the league at 70%.
Dave, I don't know if you would agree with this. I'm obviously watching this game with you. I get the feeling Florida's up 8 or 10 points, but the reality of it is they're up only 3 now. Tennessee just hanging around, and again, if they can stay close in the last 2 or 3 minutes, Florida has not had a close ball game in a long time. It'll be interesting to see how they handle it.
It is amazing. 58% from the floor for the Gators offensively. Tennessee shooting 42% from the floor. And I would agree with you. This feels like a double-digit lead. But it's only 3, and it could be tied. But that's what Tennessee's done. I mean, even in their losses to LSU and Memphis in the last week, very similar stories. Didn't shoot it well, but they hung around.
35 minutes. They're going to need 40 here today.
And a hold underneath. That will go against Joakim Noah. That'll be his second.
Well, putting it down when a big guards the little needs to drive him to the hole.
offense foul against Florida, and the Vols will shoot. Lofton pulls up right over Humphrey and does what he intended to do, burn the nylon.
Well, you can't let him catch it because you can't guard him any better than that. He's going to make threes if he has the ball.
We are tied at 59 and 27 for Lofton. Horford. And a foul on Wingate. Wow. That'll be 4 on Major.
Well, the offensive rebound by Horford on the weak side, gets good position, keeps his pivot foot down, and creates the contact. I'm not sure I agree with that call, Dave Neal.
The only reason I would say that I wouldn't blow the whistle on that, it looked like Wingate was holding his ground.
Holding his ground, straight up, principle of verticality, and then who caused the contact is what I always would ask the official. And I think Horford caused that contact.
And Horford gives it the hush sign after the made free throw. I don't know if that's a good thing or not here on the road. Wingate goes to the bench with 4 fouls. Patterson comes in. Al Horford tonight with 9 points, 6 rebounds in front of his father, Tito, who's in attendance tonight. Gator lead. The lone remaining unbeaten in college basketball. Smith to the basket. Tennessee leads by 1. Dribbles it off the sideline, or the inline. That'll be the 12th Volunteer turnover. And boy, Tennessee had a chance to send this place into pandemonium.
Bruce Pearl getting fired up as he's trying to take the last undefeated team out of that category here tonight.
Humphrey. Horford. Dorian Green, he's been great tonight. But not on that shot. Watson the rebound. CJ to the basket. No good. And a whistle underneath. And a foul on Dane Bradshaw going for the rebound. That'll be 4 on Dane. 1-1 coming up for the Gators. Bruce Pearl looking for some answers. I don't know if he's going to get what he wants to hear. Timeout on the floor. Tennessee leads it by 1.
On practically every corner.
Join the celebration. Be a part of SEC basketball this season.
It's a cold, wintry night in Knoxville, but Bruce Pearl, he's sweating like we're in Arizona in the middle of summer. He is not very happy with what he has seen the last couple of trips down the floor, and that's his reaction. Let's check in with Jen Hildreth.
Dave, in that last timeout, Billy Donovan told his Florida team, this is our time. We need to get stops and get out on the break. He looked specifically at Torian Green and Al Horford, looking at those two guys to make something happen here.
Thanks, Jen. Billy Donovan's already been teed up. He got teed back in the first half, so he's been somewhat tame since that technical. But he's still letting our crew in on some of his thoughts and ideas about how things should be going. 7 points, 7 rebounds for Joakim Noah. Childress the rebound. Tennessee with only their second lead of the game. Their first came 31-30 back with about 6.5 minutes to go in the opening half. Lofton being chased around by the freshman Huertas. Shot clock approaching 10 seconds. Bad pass. comes free. Long three. No good. Childress the rebound. Putback is jammed right back at him. Watson no good. It'll be Gator basketball. Watch the block shot from Al Horford.
Well, that's why I think this Florida team is better defensively than past teams, because they have the shot blocking ability of Horford and Noah. They erase a lot of defensive mistakes with those two athletic young players.
Timeout to reset the shot clock. It did not start on the inbounds play, so there'll be 31 seconds. See if they can reset that shot clock. We're having some issues with it. It needs to be at 31 seconds.
Well, it's been an exciting up and down game, Dave. The crowd's into it, the coaches are into it, obviously the teams are into it. It is at a high fever pitch here in Thompson Bowling Arena.
Doug Sermons on your right, Tom Eads on your left. Our two officials, two of our three officials. And the clock goes down.
You know, Bruce Pearl hardly practiced the Vols the last two games. They came off of two emotional losses at LSU, at Memphis, got back here late Wednesday night and basically has just watched tape and has gone through what's called walkthrough. They have barely worked up a sweat the last 2 days trying to preserve their energy for this game, because they came back on empty from Memphis on Wednesday night. Good move by Bruce Pearl. He understands his team.
And on the flip side, Billy Donovan takes on Savannah State in Bowling Arena tonight. They have been waiting and waiting and waiting. Many of these fans, some of these fans camped out overnight in the pouring down rain. And there is not an empty seat in this arena. Time now for our Dodge drive to the hoop. And it was what we were just talking about. Shot clock. They're brought in a new device to manage the shot clock. And it should be at 31 seconds. And here we go. Now it's going. Earlier this week, we had a chance to visit Bruce Pearl and his Tennessee Volunteers as they were going through practice. And we had a chance to mic the coach. And here's what it sounds like to be a part of the Vol team.
I'm not interested in seeing how tired you are. Do you understand me? I'm not interested today in seeing how tired you are.
Wow, if that doesn't motivate you, I don't know what will, right, Dave? I mean, I was sitting here watching that practice, and let me tell you what, those players responded to that outburst from Bruce Pearl. You could see them trying to show the swagger, show the toughness, and make their coach proud. Certainly, he's looking for that same kind of effort from them tonight, and if he talks like that, you can see why he gets it.
Yeah, I'm glad that I'm over here and not wearing a Tennessee jersey. Not that I've had the talent or the skill or the height or the leaping ability. Or
well, that's obviously,
that's not even a discussion, right?
That's the nice, easygoing Bruce Pearl I thought I knew out there. I can't believe it.
Well, they have since replaced the shot clock, so we are set in a one-point game. Tennessee by a point. Here's Horford. Spins on Childress. And goaltending, count it, Al Horford.
Righty jump hook. Al Horford has developed the righty jump hook.
Just a sophomore. Physically, he looks like a seasoned veteran. I mean, a guy that should be a senior or something. He's just a physically imposing specimen. Tough shot, Bradshaw.
They've got a ball game. Absolutely, they've answered every time.
Horford, 16-footer, no good. Joakim Noah over the back of Bradshaw. That'll be the third on Noah.
And knocked the shot Billy Donovan would have wanted. Al Horford from 17 feet. He needs to get in closer to the basket and give this young man at the foul line, Dane Bradshaw, a lot of credit. He boxes out the 6'11" Noah and draws Noah over the back for the foul.
Perhaps the only player in America that's a 6'4" power forward that backs up the point guard position. Nearly shot an air ball on the free throw, however. A wasted opportunity. Up ahead to Noah. With the jam. Florida back out in front by 1. 9 for Joe Kim.
Tennessee running the baseline screens, block to block, corner to corner, somewhat of what's called a flex offense. It's a flex cut.
Bradshaw lost the handle. Tennessee will retain possession with 16 on the shot clock. Childress checks in. He will replace Dane Bradshaw. Bradshaw looks like he might have hurt his right wrist as he sits down. Now the training staff comes over. Patterson, big rebound in traffic. Gets the nice roll. Philip Fulmer likes that. Brewer. Not a nice roll. Tennessee by 1. We've had 7 lead changes, and they've all 6 of the 7 have come here in the last few minutes. Foul against Joakim Noah. That'll be number 4. Coach, what has Tennessee done to stay in this game? It hasn't been pretty, so what have they done?
Well, Dave, they've hung around. Every time Florida had a chance to open it up, Tennessee came up with a big steal and a big play. And Ryan Childress now on the foul line and looking across the court. Major Wingate is laying on the floor in the corner, stretching out a knee or an ankle. Don't know what's wrong with Wingate, but this young man at the foul line getting many more minutes than anybody would anticipate here tonight.
Playing high school basketball in Cincinnati this time a year ago. Now he's playing in front of 24,000 against the only unbeaten in college basketball, a team that if they can win here would be number 1 on Monday.
Well, this game's going down to the wire. Let's see how this young Florida team reacts.
There's your young freshman out of Cincinnati drawing the charge. Third on Green.
And Dave, the other part of that question is, well, we see Green out of control, not enough patience, but Chris Lofton has also made every big 3 and has really put a dagger in the Gators defense.
Billy Donovan told us one of his concerns was his team holding on to the basketball. That Tennessee thrives on turnovers, but Florida does the same. Green to the basket. Free throws coming up for Torian Green. He just went flying down the court.
Nice play by Chris Richard. He helps out on.
He's your point guard, leads your team in scoring, but he's also been to the free throw line 94 times from your point guard.
Well, that's good news. Bad news, you got a tough point guard, Dave, but you got to have more inside presence as well.
Timeout on the floor. We have got 4:53 to play, and you know what, folks? Stay with us because this should be an interesting ride down the stretch. We're tied at 66. A full house at Thompson Bowling Arena on SEC Saturday night here on FSN and Sun Sports. Florida, Tennessee tied. Dave Neal, Eddie Fogler, alongside Jen Hildreth as we've got the second-ranked team in America getting all they can handle from the homestanding Volunteers. Florida has led for the most part of this game, but Tennessee has hung around, and we have seesawed the last 3 minutes. We've had 3 ties, 7 lead changes. And, Coach, in the last 4:52, what do we have to do here tonight? If you're Bruce Pearl, what does he need to do? And if you're Billy Donovan, what does he need to do?
Tennessee, Dave, needs to spread the court, drive, penetrate, and pitch.
There you go.
Throw it inside for an easy layup. Florida now must have great patience on the offensive end, use their size, and both teams must play without fouling. The 2-shot foul is in effect.
Here's Watson, 2-on-1, off to Lofton, the 3, no good. Patterson with a big rebound. Torian Green had the steal, but he was on the end line.
Wow, what action coming out of the timeout. Both teams still pushing, both teams still looking to score quickly.
68-66 Tennessee. Sumner, bad pass. Bradshaw fighting Horford. Tie up. It'll be Tennessee basketball. 3 timeouts remaining for Florida. Tennessee also with 3 timeouts. Dane Bradshaw with that bad wrist. He has it taped up now.
Well, the quickness of Corey Brewer causes the deflection, and both Horford and Bradshaw going on the floor for it.
And now Bradshaw holding that right elbow. We're going to put him in a body cast when this is over. Lofton guarded by Humphrey. Big hop step. Horford the rebound. Horford affected the last 2 Lofton shots.
Great point, Dave. He altered the shot and rebounded the shot.
Here's Brewer inside. Oh, that's a tough shot. Corey Brewer with 18. Tied again. Bradshaw goes baseline. Watson. Smith, pump fake. Bradshaw. Nowhere to go. And to Watson. Oh. Free throws on the way.
And how about the unselfish passing by the Tennessee Volunteers? They gave it up, and get it to the rim and get fouled.
Volunteer fans, they've been on their feet almost the entire game. Oh, the drama. The drama on an SEC Saturday night. Timeout. Back after this.
Ooh, Woodchucks would attack.
Your teams. FSN Florida is your official home for the hard court. Grab a seat and experience non-stop.
Tied at 68, the second-ranked team in America. Well, they have a few fans in attendance. 3:40 to go in the contest. Let's check in with Jen Hildreth quickly.
Dave, listening to Bruce Pearl that last timeout, he said, you guys, I want you to pressure, but you have to get back on defense. That's what he really stressed to his team, was getting back on D against these Gators.
Well, Watson steps to the free throw line. CJ, we told you, excellent foul shooter. 86% at the line this year, 81 out of 94. He is 3rd in free throw percentage tonight, 3 out of 3. Coach, tell me about Tennessee. You saw them last weekend. Your thoughts the last 3:40?
Well, they've run out of gas their last 2 games, Dave, at LSU, at Memphis. Do they have a full 40 minutes in their tank? And for Florida, they haven't been in this situation since November. I don't know what kind of experience they have in these situations.
Through the hands of Richard. They turn it over. Lofton has it. 2-point Volunteer lead. 18 Gator turnovers. And a foul underneath as Smith hit the deck. I think Richard might have blown right through him. And that'll be 4 on Richard. And when Richard hits you, you know it.
It hurts.
Yes. So he will go back to that Gator bench.
Foul shooting obviously will be crucial down the stretch for both teams. A lot of time left in this game.
They have to wait for the free throw to be attempted for Chris Richard to leave and Joakim Noah to check in.
Dave, Major Wingate has not been in this game for quite a while. Tennessee now going very small. Andre Patterson at 6'7", the only player on the court for Tennessee over 6'4".
Yeah, but Patterson's been huge off the bench, Coach. 10 points, 9 rebounds. But Wingate has it tonight. There's Major on that bench.
And Florida in with their starting team, going with their starting 5 for the last 3 minutes, and this crowd is really into it.
Tennessee's 3-point advantage is their biggest of the night. Horford looking for Torian Green. Gets him the ball. Torian pulls up top of the key. Left it short. Gets the rebound. And a foul.
His own rebound. And the ability, the athleticism, and the balance to not walk and draw the foul.
Watson with 6 points tonight, 10 below his average. He did have 6 assists. He was 1 out of 8 from the floor. That's coming off a 2 out of 10 performance against Memphis. So Jordan Howell checks in for C.J. Watson.
Tennessee, Dave, is 6'1", 6'2", 6'2", 6'4", 6'7", on the court right now. For 6'11", 6'8", 6'7", front line of Florida.
Earlier this year, he's got 9 this half. Patterson underneath. He gets it to go down over Horford.
That's the nice back screen, away foot from the ball. Patterson comes off the back screen free, and Florida counters it. Green goes right to the hole for an easy deuce.
Like a race car. Patterson with a dozen points. Followed by Smith.
Well, Florida's tall and athletic, but they didn't react, Dave, to that offensive rebound.
Green for 3, in and out. Patterson with another rebound. He's got a double-double now. 2 minutes to play. Here's Green. He's on the move. Humphrey has been very quiet. Dump down, great look, Joakim Noah.
Great look, threw it up over the top of the small Tennessee team to the tallest player on the court, Noah, for an easy layup.
And a foul on Brewer, trying to get the steal away from Jordan Howell. And Jordan will step to the free throw line. 2 free throws on the way for Tennessee as it's double bonus time for the Volunteers. And we told you earlier this year, earlier tonight, about the 2 other teams that went down. The 2 unbeatens. Duke loses at Georgetown on with 1:30 to go as Al Horford fouls out of the game. Or excuse me, Al does not foul out of the game. It's just timeout called, 30-second timeout. That's 3 fouls.
For Florida, they've been not patient enough, trying to force the ball too much and not taking advantage of their size. Interestingly enough, Jordan Howell has not shot a free throw all year, on the foul line for the first time all year, with some very important free throws for Tennessee.
And how about Jordan Howell stepping to the free throw line in this situation?
Wow, huh? Hadn't had a whole lot of practice there. A 3-point shooter. These are very big free throws. Even if he makes both, though, it's still a 1-possession game. Florida would only be down 3. The arrows in favor of Florida. Both teams are shooting 2-shot fouls. A lot of time left. 1:30, 90 seconds to go here. Florida needs poise and patience on the offensive court. They need a good shot, whether it's a 3 or a 2.
Howell's first free throw of the year is good. His brother plays at Auburn. His dad, his uncle, they played at Auburn, but Jordan decided to come to Knoxville. 1 out of 2.
2-point game. Poise and patience, Florida, to get the shot you want.
Brewer, Humphrey, the 3, short. Rebound, Lofton.
And a great box out by Andre Patterson on Al Horford.
Brewer with 2 fouls, trying to strip it from Howell. Noah has 4 fouls. He's on the floor. Horford has 3. Long 3 from Lofton. That was a 40-footer. Brewer, here's the run out by the Gators. Oh, nearly goes down for Corey Brewer. He will go to the free throw line.
Without C.J. Watson on the court, fouling out. The ball gets in Lofton's hands. Tennessee doesn't have any sink. A bad shot by Lofton, and this young man's ankle is okay. Watch.
You're looking at a 6'8" player.
Dave, he's terrific. He can guard 4 positions for sure, maybe 5 on the defensive end. He shoots it, he rebounds it. That was a heck of a stutter step and go.
Major Wingate just checks in for Andre Patterson. Is that an offense for defense change?
I think that's a fatigue player coming out for a fresh player, Dave.
43 seconds to go. We are tied at 76.
And a 9-second differential on the game clock and shot clock. 10-second differential, excuse me. Florida will get this ball back one more time if they can secure possession of a missed shot.
30-second timeout by Tennessee. 5th tie of the game. Both these clubs average over 80 points a game. They're tops in the league in that department. We thought we would have a high-scoring affair, and Tennessee just had to take their chances and score as much as they can because they've had trouble stopping people all season.
Well, they sure have. Again, ranked at the bottom of most defensive categories in the league. Have struggled. They give up a lot of easy ones, though, Dave, because they're not real big. Now, C.J. Watson in the game now. Crucial possession, obviously, for Tennessee. Let's see what Bruce Pearl decides to do. Who will he give the ball to, and will he use the high post ball screen, which almost all teams use? If I'm Florida here, I am switching every screen, particularly the ball screens. I cannot let Lofton get a good look. I'll take my chances with anybody but Lofton from outside.
Both teams in the double bonus, so 2 free throws on any foul. 2 timeouts remaining for Tennessee. Florida with 2 timeouts. Here's Lofton, guarded by Lee Humphrey. Lofton, long 3 out of Joakim Noah, over Joakim Noah. Rebound to Brewer on the breakout. Taken away by Lofton. Up ahead to Bradshaw. Tennessee leads by 2.
Well, they switched the ball screen, got a run out, but Brewer turns it over. Crucial mistake for Florida.
Humphrey for 3. Short. Rebound Lofton. And a foul against the Gators.
Well, it looks like a layup, but how about the play by Lofton? He fakes it, Brewer, and he played the obvious pass, came up with a huge steal, and then Tennessee counters on a run out and gets an easy basket. There's the best three-point shooter probably in the league, but he comes up with the biggest defensive play of the year for the Vols. Young man has developed into an all-around player. He is much more than just a shooter.
Timeout remaining. 6 seconds to play. Tennessee by 2.
6 seconds, Dave, is a long time. Right now, it's a one-possession game. An excellent foul shooter in Lofton. If he makes both, it's a 2-possession game. Very difficult for Florida at that point. If he only makes one, a 3 would tie the basketball game.
Lofton, an 85% foul shooter on the year, has 29 points tonight.
And I think Bruce Pearl does a smart thing here. He doesn't have anybody on the foul line. All the defenders are back.
Green for 3, no good. Tennessee shocks number 2 Florida, 80-76. Undefeated teams in college basketball have gone down today.
Guys, I got Coach here. Well, Coach, it's so loud I can hardly hear those guys. My goodness, you said your team could make a statement. This was an opportunity week. Did you make a statement?
This is what college basketball is all about. What an amazing underdog. And look at this crowd, 25,000 strong. I just can't so happy for Tennessee.
Certainly a team effort, but Chris Lofton missing that three, then going back and getting the steal. Is that the type of player he is?
Isn't it spectacular? At 18 in the first half, how many tough shots did he take? And yet he was ready to play this game. Special players have to step up at special moments, and Chris Lofton clearly had one tonight.
All right, Coach, thank you so much. Congratulations.
A great night for the SEC. A great night for the SEC, and Billy was very cordial in the defeat.
And a great night for your fans as well, right?
You better believe it.
All right, thanks, Coach. Dave?
Well, Jen, I'll look forward to the February 22nd date. That's when Tennessee heads to Gainesville. I will be there, and I know the Gator fans will be waiting the Volunteers. What a night. What a great game. Very few times do games live up to their expectations, but we got all that and then some tonight as Tennessee shocks the second-ranked team in America, 80-76. This was the big basket by Dane Bradshaw. Back after this.
I wanted to find some.
It is incredible.
The dream season for Tennessee continues. They're now 12-3, 3-1 in SEC play. And Florida's dream is not over by any stretch, folks. Their first loss in 18 outings. And this is a very good basketball team that ran into a very tough environment tonight as Tennessee shocks #2 Florida. Coach, we said it wasn't pretty by Tennessee, and you know, it's kind of what Bruce Pearl told us, that they had to play, that it may not be pretty tonight. But our Lincoln Mercury player of the game has to be Chris Lofton with a huge night. 29 points, 10 out of 19 from the floor, also 6 rebounds. He was huge and a big part of this, but I guess Bruce Pearl got everything he wanted out of his team tonight.
Well, Dave, he creates a helter-skelter game with an incredible pace that they're used to playing at. Certainly a great win for Tennessee. As for Florida, this is far from the end of the world. This will be a very good learning experience for a young, talented Florida basketball team to finally be in a close game, because there will be many more for Florida as they go through the rest of the season and into the NCAA tournament.
What a day in college basketball. Unbelievable. 3 unbeaten teams go down in a 12-hour period today. Shocking. Great win for Tennessee in front of a 24,000-seat arena that was filled to the brim. Amazing, amazing basketball here in the SEC tonight. So for Eddie Fogler and Jen Hildreth, I'm Dave Neal, saying so long from Knoxville, where once again our final score is Tennessee 80, Florida 76. Stay tuned as SEC Saturday Night Hoops continues next week with doubleheader action as South Carolina travels here to Knoxville to take on the Vols at 5 o'clock Eastern. And then at 7 Eastern, it's Mississippi State and Alabama from Tuscaloosa. We will see you down the road.
Welcome to the Fox Sports Grill in Irvine, California. You're watching FSN.